Welcome to Southern River Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and fitness. Well, this week, we're catching up with two celebrities in the greater La Crosse area, just returning from over in Europe. Former Aquinas star athlete Theresa Knutson, and first time on the show, former Holman High School student athlete Jacyn Reeves, both receiving Division I scholarships, both playing professional hockey in Europe. And wow, is this going to be a show, and you're going to learn a lot about these two. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Just returning from Europe, we're going to talk a little bit about that, but before we do that, let's just kind of go back a little bit. Teresa's been on the show several times. Jacyn, for some, had an opportunity to meet you, but I remember you from Holman, and then you went on to play Division I at The Ohio State. But how'd you get your beginning? Because obviously you played when you were very young.
Yeah, of course. I started when I was 4, and my dad actually played hockey in high school, so that's kind of where I started from. And he started me, and then I just fell in love with it. So
a lot of people may not know you because you moved from another part of the country to Holman, and then that was an easy adjustment for you?
Yeah, so I originally was born in Wisconsin Rapids, so it wasn't too far of a move, but I think in terms of hockey, I'm really glad I came here, just because I was on a team with Theresa, and I think the hockey community here versus in Wisconsin Rapids, at least for girls, is better.
So you, early on, your gift, your skill was recognized.
Yeah, I always felt like I had a strong suit in skating. Stick handling and shooting were always like not my strong suit. That was definitely more of Theresa over here. But I've always thought I could see the ice really well too, and I really enjoyed making those creative plays and getting those assists and then scoring those goals as well.
Did you have a lot of opportunity in high school, where a lot of schools seeking your services to play Division I hockey?
You know, it was actually kind of a challenge. So Theresa and I both actually played on Team Wisconsin too, which is outside of the high school season, and that helped more with like reaching out to college coaches. But I did have to do like a lot of recruiting on my own just to get my name out there to the schools.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Teresa's been on a show. This is her 3rd time. Talked to her in high school, and then when she was playing professionally and for UConn. But now you're back, and your experiences at UConn are behind you, and now you're on to something else. But hockey is still a big part of your life.
Yeah, hockey will always be a big part of my life, whether I'm playing, coaching, or watching. Hopefully my kids one day. Probably won't be officiating anytime soon. But yeah, hockey is just going to always be a part of me, and it's something that I truly love.
What a gift to be able to play Division I in any sport. But you and I talked about your experiences at UConn, watching other teams, by the way, too, meeting other people. But when you reflect on that, I mean, that was a pretty special time in your life.
Yeah, it was definitely, the more I get out of college, the more I look back and just realize how great of an experience I had, and also how tired I was throughout college, because I've been training for another half marathon, and I've been lifting and running, and I'm just exhausted, and I don't really do much other than lift, run, and do a little work. And so in college we were working out, skating, having classes, have to perform at a super high level, and during that time I never realized how draining it was. But as of now, I look back and I'm like, wow, I feel pretty accomplished that I was able to graduate from a good university and have a great hockey experience.
Graduate, what was your major?
I was a sport management major.
Okay.
So.
Going back to what you just said, I didn't know this about Theresa, that she's training for a half marathon, and I'm a weekend warrior, run a lot of races. And talk about how you got excited about that.
So my brother James actually started running probably 5 years ago now, and just started running and has now done 2 marathons and a few half marathons. So I've seen the growth that he's gained over these past few years, and it's something that I want to do, and I enjoy running.
The disappointing thing for us that like to be involved in road races is that every one of them, starting with my routine, which is in Arizona throughout the month of March, and then transitioning to the spring around here, every one of them has been canceled.
Yeah.
So which one are you training for?
So I'm going to do the one in Madison on November 7th, as long as it's still possible.
Well, there's a few of them that haven't been canceled yet in July, August, and then into the fall. So
yeah, I want to give myself enough time to perform at my highest level, because I'm not a born runner. I have to really work for it.
Well, you're a born athlete, that's for sure, because you were a heck of a softball player too. Just a single sport athlete at home, and though, Jacyn?
I played volleyball for a while. I actually really enjoyed it, but in the end I had to stop playing so I could focus on getting recruited for hockey.
A lot of people are just curious on the life of a D1 athlete, and Theresa and I talked about this previously on the show. We'll revisit a couple things, but a Division I athlete, a lot is required. I mean, the schedule, having to balance everything. I mean, the commitment is incredible, isn't it, Jacyn?
Oh, for sure, for sure. There is so much expected of us, you know. Of course, being a student athlete was first, you know. Got to get good grades. And then on top of that, we were required to do community hours, and our coach always expected the best of us in that. So, you know, I mean, I was volunteering probably 1 to 2 hours every week on top of working out, having 2 games of the weekend. And for Ohio, we had to travel, but we had to fly everywhere. So our weekends would probably go from like Thursdays, we would leave on Thursdays in the mornings, and then we wouldn't get back until late Saturday night or early Sunday morning. So that's like a huge chunk of time. Plus you'd miss classes and you had to communicate with your teachers on that. So it really was a lot, but I think it's helped me develop really important skills that'll help me be successful in the future.
Well, the awards you won in high school, All-State, Junior, Senior, and all the other accomplishments certainly prepared you. Was it a difficult transition though initially because of the requirements of being a D1 athlete?
There was a bit of a difficulty to it. I think I had developed really good organizational skills in high school, which helped me with my class end of it. But I think it was definitely overwhelming, I would say, just having it all come at you at once, and you just are not used to it. And like Theresa said, you're tired, like always tired, but you just got to find a way to get things done because you're held to a higher standard.
Highlights, accomplishments during your 4 years at the Ohio State?
Well, I had a few that I'm pretty proud of. So we actually went to the Frozen Four my junior year, and that had never been done in program history at Ohio. So that was an unreal experience. I can't even describe how amazing that was. And then at the Frozen Four, I won the Elite 90 award, which is basically, out of the 4 teams there, I had the highest GPA, which was really exciting because I had always worked really hard in the classroom and to keep my grades where I wanted them to be.
Did that come naturally to you?
No, I'm not. I don't think of myself as naturally smart. I think of myself as a very hard worker. So I'm always going the extra step to try to understand it, getting all my work done. And then another thing I got my senior year was Hockey Humanitarian nomination, top 17 for that, which stemmed from all the community service we were doing.
Okay, community service, a component that's required of not every D1 school, not every in any level. What were you involved in?
I was heavily involved with a program called 2nd and 7 in Columbus. And basically, student athletes would go to these second graders, and we'd read to them a specific book that the program had made that usually taught a lesson. And then after that, we would talk about the importance of like being a D1 athlete and how you have to be a student athlete first. And Columbus it's definitely needs work with its children knowing how to read. It's always been a challenge for Columbus, so I felt really passionate about that.
Typical big community. When you think of Columbus, when you think of the Ohio State, you think of football. And were you involved? Did you go to a lot of those games? Get to meet some of those those celebrities?
Yeah, so it was actually really cool. Ohio State does like a big student-athlete game, so all the student-athletes get to go out on the field at halftime and get recognized. We make a big block go. That was really cool. And then several times our coach was amazing. She got us to go to games as teams. We actually went to an Ohio State versus Michigan game, which is a big deal. So we were there for that. And we got to go on the field a couple other times, once for the Frozen Four recognition, and a few other times.
Well, and Theresa, before we go to break, Theresa, your experiences at UConn, I mean, come on, you got to go to games. You were privileged to meet some celebrities too.
Yeah, I think the coolest sporting event I went to was the 100th win for the UConn women's basketball program in a row against South Carolina. We got there pretty early, and but the place was sold out, but student athletes get free tickets, and they found a way to get us in even though the place was crowded. And so we all stood up at the top, and like there's like 10 of us on this one little step stool, and it was one of the coolest experiences, just because to see a women's program just be so dominant and have that many people want to support them and be there for that historical moment was pretty cool. And
Certainly.
then, yeah, all the different games are cool.
Yeah, I happen to watch that game on TV too, so I can feel the same excitement just watching it from the living room. Well, we're going to step aside just for a minute. When we come back, more here on Seven Rivers Sports.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. This week, we are following the careers of Theresa Knutson and Jacyn Reeves, just returning from Europe in March as a result of the COVID-19 cases. And I was just doing some research too. Germany, 8,200 deaths so far, and compared to the United States, 94,000 deaths. Of course, the difference in population. Germany, 44 million people, and the United States, 331 million. So you didn't want to leave, obviously, because your season had not ended. You arrived back unexpectedly in mid-March. Kind of take us through how that materialized, Jacyn.
Well, we were actually going into the last weekend of the of our season. My team had won it's a best of 3 series, so we had already won 1 game the weekend before, and so we were going into final weekend, and we were all really excited. And I was bowling with a couple of my teammates actually on, I think, Tuesday, and we had heard that the men's team in Munich, their whole league had canceled before playoffs had started, and we were just thinking, this isn't good, but maybe they'll let us play 1 weekend. We could only have 1 more game, maybe 2 at the best, but it's 1 weekend. We could do it with no fans. But no, it was Tuesday night. We got a call and they said it's canceled. It's done. So I was pretty sad. I mean, from high school when we got 3 second-place trophies in a row, you know, I was ready for maybe a first place this time.
So were you? How much time after you were told the season was canceled? How much time did they give you before you were able to get a flight to come back?
Right. Well, I had planned to do some traveling after the season, but since I had heard about all this corona stuff going on, I kind of canceled some of those plans and moved my flight up earlier. But then Thursday morning, I believe, my roommate woke me up at 3 a.m. and she said, they're canceling all the flights. We have to get home by Friday at midnight or it's going to be crazy. And so we were on the phone for hours trying to move my flights. I think there were upwards of $3,000, some of them. Luckily, my dad was able to move my flight up to that Friday, and I was gone. I took a day to pack, and then I was gone. Didn't even get to say goodbye to half of my team.
Similar situation, Theresa, with you. You came back mid-March?
Yep, so same exact thing. I woke up Thursday morning at 5 a.m. to my parents had called me. Jacyn had texted me just saying, like, borders are closing. You should probably go home, like, today or tomorrow. And so I called my parents and ended up deciding to come home that Friday and spend probably a good amount of the morning packing and crying. Just didn't, because I knew it was my last year there and just wasn't expecting it to end as fast as it did. So I was able to, though, go and see pretty much all of my friends. We had a little bit of a going away, like, dinner, like, and then I went and saw, like, went to the practices to see everyone because they were still skating. But yeah, it was definitely very surprising, but I'm glad I got home when I did, because traveling after that Friday would have been just horrible.
Well, being young people, you've not experienced, I mean, 9/11 was maybe a similar issue with happened in this country, but I'm sure you were thinking, what is going on in this world?
Yeah, it was definitely, like, yeah, we haven't really lived through a pandemic or anything, so right. It was definitely, it affects us and it affects everyone, so right. You can't just think selfishly, you have to think about others around you.
Well, how were the people in Germany reacting to this early warning in March?
Well, when we had left, Italy was getting really bad. It wasn't too bad in Germany. I know toilet paper was selling out, of course, and then people were wearing masks, but nothing had closed down yet when I had left. So it seemed pretty calm, but they were getting very nervous about Italy. They had closed, like, traveling borders. Like, I was supposed to go to Ireland, but I was nervous that they would close the borders and I wouldn't get back to Germany. But then I just ended up going home anyway. So.
Well, when you read about, they seem to have it under control pretty much there. It could spike again, but Germany has, there's some good signs. Coming from over there, Pleneg Penguins in
yes.
Munich. Talk about that.
Yeah, so there's a small little community called Pleneg, and it's right by Munich, maybe 15 minutes by train. And I love the team. Everyone kind of comes from all over. I'd say we travel about an hour to get to the rinks we play at, just because there's so many people in Munich, and there's only like one hockey rink there. So we usually drive. Our coaches will come pick us up, or someone in a bus, and take us to practices, and we'll practice about 3 times a week, and then games on Saturday, Sunday.
Describe the culture, though, because most people have not been to, read about Munich and so on, but have no idea really what the culture's like or what the landscape's like.
Yeah. So the biggest thing for me that I noticed about Germany was that it was very clean. There wasn't, like, very much garbage anywhere, and they're really good about the recycling. That was the big thing that popped out. But also they have a lot more public transportation around. It's easier to get around. I mean, everyone spoke German. Most people did speak English too, but I felt like in Munich, they didn't want to speak English. They wanted to speak German, because that's like Bavaria. So that's like the lower part of Germany where they're pretty traditional, and you'd often see people wearing, like, Oktoberfest outfits just because maybe there's a celebration, someone's getting married, someone's doing something, and they wear it all the time.
Knowing that you're from the United States, my experience is being over in Europe, when they find out you're from the United States, there's lots of questions they ask and they're curious. Finding out that you were from this country, how were you treated?
I don't think I was treated too bad. I mean,
a lot of questions? Were people curious about your lifestyle?
No, not too much. They always liked Walmart. They thought that was fun. Other than that, it wasn't that much different. I mean, the players on my team knew that I was coming there, and I mean, Munich's such a big city, and there's definitely tons of import people, like, from the U.S. or from other places, so they're kind of used to just having an eclectic group of people there.
But this was your first opportunity, and we're going to talk to Theresa about her second year there. But you must have been like when you got there and you were offered this opportunity to play professional hockey. When you got there, it's like, oh my goodness, am I going to be able to handle this?
Yeah, it was definitely overwhelming, especially kind of going on my own. I mean, Theresa is nearby, but like not super close where I could just like go see her one afternoon, you know. So that was actually pretty scary. The language barrier was quite a transition, and just like learning how to live this new lifestyle as well, and just kind of getting over the fact of being like a little scared to go adventure because it's new, you know.
And Theresa, the second year over in Germany, the Mannheim Mad Dogs for the city of Mannheim. Share some of your experiences there.
Well, it was definitely exciting to go back for the second year. I felt more at home going back. I remember the first year when I got there, a group of people like met me, and then we did stuff that day. And then this past year when I went over, I was kind of more like, oh, I just want to get to the house and sleep for the day because the flight was long. And so it was good to see that I got more comfortable and I didn't need a lot of people to make me feel welcome as much that I actually did feel welcome. I got to travel more, and then just being a part of the team for a second year was pretty cool because I felt like I had a voice more, that I was able to help out the girls, teach them different kind of systems, and I was able to work with the coach and just be able to help develop the team throughout like the second year, which was pretty fun to be able to do.
A lot of people in this country are familiar with the National Women's Hockey League, which is, and we talked when we were on break here about the fact that those professional athletes, you're at the same level they are playing in Germany. Did you ever think about in the past or maybe going forward about maybe getting involved in that?
Yeah, there's always a thought of continuing playing hockey and playing competitively, so it's definitely something, and being able to talk to the coaches is an opportunity. So. Yeah.
But now to reveal to our viewers that you've taken a new job?
Yeah, so I am an assistant athletic director at Aquinas High School now, so it's pretty exciting. It's a lot of work, and it's something I love, so so far I've been enjoying everything about it.
Well, it ties into your experiences at Aquinas, at UConn, in Europe, and of course your major at UConn, sports management. But the first year over there, Jacyn, so you said you wanted to travel a little bit more. You have an appetite for traveling, but next year, going back?
Yep, if it works out that way, I guess everything's kind of up in the air. But yes, I am planning on going back. It's just a matter of when right now.
So you're going back to play on the same team in Munich?
Yeah, signed a contract with Plan A again.
Okay.
So we got to get that trophy.
Before we close the show, did you play against each other over there? You're on different teams.
We did.
How'd that go?
That was fun.
Yeah, we got two different. So Germany, they got their Olympic team, of course, but majority of those girls on the Olympic team for Team Germany play on 3 teams throughout the league, so their team has a few girls that are just extremely talented, and my team has girls that are developing and one day could be on that Team Germany team. So you got 2 different levels, but it's still competitive, it's still fun, and it's always good to play against.
Yeah, it's always good to see her. So
you stepped into the unknown. You took the road least traveled, and a leap of faith, and an experience of a lifetime for both of you, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And an experience for us to learn about that here on Seven Rivers Sports. So we appreciate you being on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jacyn Reeves and Theresa Knutson sharing their story of playing professional hockey in Europe. Well, that's it this week here on Seven Rivers Sports. We'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Next week, you have a chance to meet Matt Schneider, the athletic director at Aquinas High School. Well, that's it this week here on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you are staying safe and healthy, and like me, wanting to get your life back to a sense of normalcy in the weeks and months ahead.